Department of Veterans Affairs, which unfortunately is failing our veterans today. Veterans have died waiting for doctor's appointments around the country. Those who get appointments sometimes don't return because their first experience was so bad. I'm appalled that greedy and arrogant government bureaucrats around the country would treat men and women who risk their lives to defend our freedom in such fashion. I intend to do something about it, as we've already started to do in our Congress. I was among the first to call on Secretary Rick Shinseki to resign, while others stood loyally by President Obama. Now, Secretary Shinseki, we all know, is not personally responsible for all the problems in the Department of Veterans Affairs, many of which predated his tenure. But you all know the standard of military leadership that we learned. I am responsible for everything my unit does and fails to do. By that standard, both the President and Secretary Shinseki failed to lead the VA and to solve the problems that President Obama himself campaigned on in 2008. In the House, we're trying to do this work for him. I was proud to sponsor the VA Management Accountability Act, which we passed by a vote of 390 to 33. This legislation will give the VA Secretary increased responsibility and authority to fire or discipline employees who aren't performing their jobs adequately, rather than giving them a bonus, which has been par for the course today. I was also proud to support the Veterans Access to Care Act, which will allow veterans who have waited too long for an appointment at a VA hospital to seek private sector care in their own communities. Our bill will also block those bonus payments to VA employees until these problems are solved. Now, these steps alone won't solve the problems of the Department of Veterans Affairs, which, by the way, aren't limited to the Health Administration. For instance, too many veterans of my generation wait too long for basic benefits they were promised, like the 9/11 GI Bill. But these measures are an important first step to change the culture and the mindset at the VA. And I hope President Obama will finally begin to get serious about solving these problems that he's talked about for the last 6 years.